of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host Dirk God Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Dirk God Raven Mac. We are here at the abandoned concrete factory at the edge of town. This is the Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse Spring 2024 series. As you can see, it's 27 competitors and they accumulate points, and it's a 7-week series, and we are in week 7. So that means tonight we are crowning a champion. So you can look at these previous winners, fall of 2022. We did this a few times without 7-week series. But fall of 2022 was our first 7-week series in that verified blue check, who now operates as the New York Times Op Eddie. He won it. The police state won it in winter in spring of 2023, and we came back in earlier this year, winter of 2024, and not an FBI agent won it. And we are going to see who wins it tonight. As always, I want to shout out our sponsors, Friends of Catbird. Love the Friends of Catbird. They've been very generous in their support of this. But you see my Venmo and Cash App right there. You can hit me with some tribute. You can support our next season, which is going to begin in August. So you can be on the lookout for that. Our summer 2024 7-week series will begin the first week of August, whatever that Monday is. I can't remember. But shout out to Friends of Catbird. And because of that, we have What's the Word Catbird. So Catbird is an actual person here. Comes to the arena, watches it. I usually talk to him beforehand. He's always got things he likes to say. So we got What's the Word Catbird. And What's the Word Catbird this week is lightning bug on the windshield. Now what that comes from is me and Catbird were talking outside along with this homeless guy Gary. We were just shooting the shit around Catbird's truck. And I was talking to Catbird, asking him about how dramatic people are being about this election is democracy is at stake. And Catbird just shook his head and he said it's like a lightning bug on the windshield. Democracy is like that lightning bug. It's already been wrecked. It's already dead. Even though it's still lighting up on the windshield, it don't mean it's coming back to life. So we are living in the era, according to Catbird, of the lightning bug on the windshield. It's already dead, but it's still glowing. So we like to think that we're going to bring it back. But if you think democracy is at stake now, you're about 20 years late, according to Catbird. So that was word from Catbird this week. What I do want to do is let's go back and look at our previous 6 weeks and see what happened. You can see here in week 1, I've got the independent centrist and the bootlicker were finishing up that week, and you can see here the independent centrist takes the bootlicker down and gets the 1, 2, 3. That's the only week we've seen the independent centrist. He won that first week. John Fetterman came in third. He's in there. But the independent centrist we haven't seen since week 1 when he won this thing. So he'll be back out here tonight. Week 2, a homeless guy, Gary, who I just mentioned, homeless guy was taking on Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson was in control, but then the homeless guy threw him down and got the 1, 2, 3 on Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, just barely, and homeless guy won. And we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen the homeless guy since. Maybe he's been back out, I can't remember. But Mike Johnson came in second there in week 2, and in week 3, Mike Johnson and President Biden at it in the final 2, and Biden tosses Johnson over that top rope to win it. So Biden won week 3. Mike Johnson finished second week 2 and 3, and that's part of why you're going to see when we get to these standings, he's the last man out. He's accumulated the most points despite not winning any week yet. Week 4, we've got Reply Guy and Libertarian candidate for President Chase Oliver in the end, and Reply Guy was in control, but Chase Oliver got a sneaky little rollout pin there and won it, and we haven't seen the Libertarian candidate again since that week 4. I do not believe, I could be wrong. Week 5, Alvin Bragg and Donald Trump, after that conviction, they ended up being the final 2, and Alvin Bragg got the pin on Trump. So he got the win in court, and he got the win here in the Rumble of the Discourse to win week 5. Trump's very upset about that. You can see he's bloodied and beaten there in week 5. And then finally week 6, last week, our final 2 were Clarence Thomas and Steve Bannon. Bannon was in control, but then Thomas got that bat, didn't even use it, slams Bannon and got the pin. So Clarence Thomas got the win last week, so both of those folks will be here this week as well, so you can expect to see them as well. Let's look here at our standings coming into this week. We're going to start at the bottom of the standings, so you can see those 3-point folks. They did coin flips to figure it out, and Pete Bourgeoisie is going to be the only 3-point getter to come out. Then you'll see those 4-pointers come out, then Bernie Sanders with 5. And then we're just going to work in reverse order by who got the most points. So RFK Jr., MTG, and those folks with 6 points. You see 7 points. That New York Times op-ed is our only previous winner who qualified for the finale this week. Steve Bannon, the bootlicker, Chase Oliver, and then that final leaderboard. These are the guys, the late in the game ones that'll be coming out. I'm really interested in that independent centrist and that homeless guy because we've only seen them once. You can see Biden will be coming out like 4th to last. Clarence Thomas 3rd to last. Donald Trump next to last. Mike Johnson the last man out because of those points he got. So let's go on up to the ring and see what happens here. As you can see, our referees are the police, state, and the lady cop as normal. And it looks like Pete Bourgeoisie is going to be our first man coming out. He is coming into the ring, the Secretary of Electric Biking, Pete Bourgeoisie. And he will be facing off Tom Cotton, Arkansas Senator. Sort of an alpha male himself, so this is an interesting matchup. Pete Bourgeoisie and Senator Tom Cotton. No love lost between these two different sides of the aisle, so to speak. Tom Cotton, of course, been very vocal in his support of Israel. And Cotton with a drop kick right away catches Pete Bourgeoisie. And then a spine breaker. Elbow. Cotton starting strong here, going for the pin right away. Referees are out of place. The lady cop and police state not around to make the count. So, once again, 27 folks coming out in reverse order the points they have. So we'll see what happens as they come out. And whoever wins is going to be the champion of the discourse for spring 2024. Bourgeoisie with a nice punch there on Cotton. And Cotton pretty much dominating so far. He's definitely controlling it. Some kicks to the knee there. And then a roll-up for a pin. We get a buzzer. Somebody's coming out. But Bourgeoisie kicks out of the pin attempt. And here comes Hillary. So Hillary is our third person out. Hillary coming in. She moves one of those ladders outside the ring, around the ring. We have 7 meritocracy ladders. None of them are in the ring right now. And we also have those briefcases scattered around. And that is lobbyists, super PAC money. And Bourgeoisie and Hillary going at it. You think they would be teaming up and combining against Tom Cotton and not taking on each other. And there's a backslide there. 2 count on Hillary by Tom Cotton. And she's fighting back. She won't take it. And Bourgeoisie seems to be going after Hillary more than Cotton, which is odd. And we get a buzzer. And it's J.D. Vance. Looks like he has the inside track, the vice president for Trump. Saw a big interview of him in the New York Times, kind of talking him up and making him look like a better person than he probably should be getting to look like. But humanizing a man that likes to dehumanize others. And Hillary and Bourgeoisie still going at it. And Tom Cotton nails J.D. Vance with some brass knucks there. Now he's got Bourgeoisie in the headlock and punching him. Vance picks up those brass knucks and doesn't get anybody. We get a buzzer. Coming out to join things is the university president. So this university president was in the discourse earlier this year, being called in the Congress to speak about anti-Semitism, and then J.D. Vance nails Hillary, and then for shutting down the Student Justice for Palestine protests. And there's a pin on Cotton by Bourgeoisie, but a kick out. And Hillary just kind of running back and forth on the ropes there. Vance and Hillary collide. Bourgeoisie, well, I'm sorry, Tom Cotton working on the university president. And here comes another competitor, and it's the 3%er. 3%er coming out, of course, part of the discourse, even if not a political figure. 3%ers are out here. he gets in there and going right after Hillary, it looks like. Vance with a punch on the 3%er. 3%er swinging that briefcase. Bourgeoisie up on the top rope. That's a dangerous place to be. Cotton nails the 3%er with sort of a DDT thing. And there's a pin on Cotton by the 3%er. Only a 2 count. And Hillary nails the 3%er with a clothesline. And now we got a buzzer, and here comes Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders is out. So we've had our first 7 competitors out and nobody eliminated yet. So everybody's hot and heavy to win this thing this week. And there's a pin on Hillary, the 3%er, and that's it. Hillary's eliminated. So mark Hillary off the discourse. I know she's going to want to get her shots in on Trump after he got convicted, but she's eliminated from the discourse now. And there's a roll-up on J.D. Vance by the University President, but a kick-out. So Hillary's the first one eliminated tonight. Bourgeoisie over the top rope, and he's out. And at the same time, we get a buzzer, and here comes Samuel Alito, catching a lot of flack for the screwed up flags that he blames his wife for. Got taped the other week by an undercover woman, taping him saying that he believes it's a battle between 2 sides and neither will quit, so one of them has to win. It sounded a lot like the hard right opinion Israel has about Gaza and Palestinians, but a little disheartening to hear that on the Supreme Court. But we know that's how it is. Like, let's be realistic. Like, you're fooling yourself if you think it's not like that. So we've got 6 folks out here. Senators Tom Cotton and Bernie Sanders, Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, Senator J.D. Vance, and the university president coming to join them. The wealthy leftists. The wealthy leftist, this is a wealthy leftist, runs a community center, which is actually just one of the spaces in his family's warehouse. Parents own a number of properties around town. And he launders his complicity in the inequality of American life by pretending he runs a community center open to anybody. And yet it's still his family's last name on the deed. Keep that in mind. So, it's hot in here tonight, folks. I gotta admit, the Abandoned Concrete Factory, we got this heat dome going, and here comes a buzzer, Marjorie Taylor Greene joining the melee, and Tom Cotton got pinned in there. I think that was the wealthy leftist that pinned him, so Tom Cotton had been the longest fighting person since the opening bell, and he's out. It is hot. The heat dome is over America and over our Abandoned Concrete Factory, and it's an Abandoned Concrete Factory. We just got some old fans in here, man. It is hot, boy. So forgive me if I talk a little slow when it gets hot like this. You want to keep it slow. Bernie Sanders did not do so well. He got pinned in there by somebody. I was babbling at you and didn't hear who. So he is eliminated. And we get a buzzer. And hot on the heels of MTG is AOC. Wealthy leftist got tossed. So he did not do well either. So the wealthy leftist tossed. I think that's J.D. Vance that tossed him. AOC in there right on the university president. 3%er going for a pin on MTG, and MTG didn't last long at all. MTG is gone, so the 3%ers knocked out a couple people. Now the university president in there on top of that 3%, only a 1 count. So we got Senator J.D. Vance, Representative AOC, the 3%er, Samuel Alito, and the university president is still out there. He should be trying to... AOC on that top rope. Again, that's a dangerous spot to be because you can get eliminated. And here comes third-party candidate RFK Jr., a vanity third-party candidate that doesn't even have a party that's a normal party. It's just his own party. But he's getting on ballots, and he'll be siphoning off some votes from various people. J.D. Vance over that top rope. RFK Jr. out there with him, but knocks him back in. Not the smartest move there by RFK Jr. That brainworm probably told him to do that. Now Alito's locked up. 3%er kicks AOC. Alito on that top rope, and AOC drops him from that top rope. And here's our only previous winner that's in this thing, that New York Times op-ed. He has won this thing. Of course, he's starting to drop the columns about how democracy is at stake, yet oddly, in the same breath, he tells you that means you have to vote for Biden. And I never understand how people have that dissonance as they say democracy is at stake, but what that means is you should vote for less of the people. I don't understand how people think that makes sense, but they do. And they justify it to themselves, and not only do they justify it, they think you're an idiot if you disagree with that. That is the condescension of know-it-all types, which is sort of the other arm of the condescension of Christian nationalist types. So we've got a lot of condescension in the politics and the discourse. And here comes a buzzer, and here's a breath of fresh air, the immigrant. The immigrant's not really condescending because I can hardly communicate with him, but he's a good dude. Like I said, we've talked about soccer before. We're both excited for Copa America coming up here later this week. He'll, of course, be pulling for Mexico. I will, of course, be pulling for the USA to lose. And that university president is bloody out there now, but he only got a 2 count on AOC. It looks like we have about 7 or 8 people out there right now. Crowded discourse at the moment. No ladders in the ring. Usually the ladders in there and they will cause people to get eliminated quickly. And here comes Steve Bannon. So he was on the borderline, but he finished runner-up last week. Got enough points to come out later in this thing. And AOC getting pinned in there. Kick out at 2 3/4 on that 3%er pin. And Steve Bannon goes right after AOC. Immigrant and RFK Jr. are locked up, and Samuel Alito gave it up. I didn't see who had a hold on him, but Samuel Alito gave it up. So one of our 2 Supreme Court justices in tonight's event has been eliminated. Of course, Clarence Thomas will still be out later. University president going for a pin on RFK Jr. Only a 1 count. Steve Bannon has a chair, swinging that thing. And here comes the bootlicker. He loves the cops, boy, so he loves these referees. Bootlicker comes out, and he's got that Singapore cane. And he goes after him, and the 3%er going at each other. You think they'd probably be at the same barbecue more than once. The police state got an ankle lock on, I think, the university president there. I don't know what that's all about. New York Times op-ed, he nails the 3%er, but doesn't go for the pin, strangely enough. Some folks don't know how to capitalize on their advantage in the discourse. Too intent on having a longer debate. We got a buzzer, and coming out to join the crowd, Libertarian candidate Chase Oliver, and it looks like he's in some sort of disagreement there with Samuel Alito there in the aisle. Libertarian candidate Chase Oliver, and he wraps up his argument with Alito and hits the ring hard. And the bootlicker tossed over there. I think that was RFK Jr. that tossed him. So the bootlicker's night in our finale is short. Is eliminated. So it's a lot of folks in there, folks. It's hard. And there's a pin on Chase Oliver, but he kicks out. Steve Bannon almost got the quick pin on Chase Oliver. The immigrant and J.D. Vance going at it. And we get a buzzer, and J.D. Vance knocked over that top rope. Alvin Bragg, D.A. Alvin Bragg, who won one of our weeks, he's out here. And J.D. Vance got tossed. J.D. Vance knocked off that apron, so he is gone. So we're at a pretty good midpoint here. What I can tell you is we've had 9 folks eliminated. We got 9 folks in the ring, and we got 9 folks left to come out. So we are at a nice, good middle point of our finale here. So 9 in the ring and 9 to come. Let's just recap who's in there. The university president, the 3%er, AOC, RFK Jr., and Chase Oliver, 2 presidential candidates from the third parties. Alvin Bragg, the immigrant, that New York Times op-ed, Steve Bannon, and joining them, Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania. So Fetterman comes in, and AOC got pinned. I was watching Big John come out down the aisle. I didn't see who pinned AOC. And there's Chase Oliver got tossed, so he is gone too. So I told you it was 9 left to come and 9 in the ring, but we've had a couple quick eliminations since John Fetterman came out. Vance seems to be arguing with Samuel Alito in the aisle, way down back of your screen there. Steve Bannon on RFK Jr., trying to neutralize that threat. And I recognize the music from the south side of Facebookistan, this reply guy, and he's locked up with AOC there for briefly. Gave her a slam, but now he's in the ring. Good old reply guy. Fetterman with a roll up on the university president. The university president's been out here for a long time, man. He is bloody and beaten, but he's still in there. And there's a pin. New York Times op-ed is gone. So we will not have a repeat winner. Our only previous winner in this thing just got eliminated. And there's Alvin Bragg with a nice roll up on the 3%er, but couldn't get a pin. And we get a buzzer, and joining the crowd, that independent centrist. He won week 1. Independent centrism is his whole thing. He feels the two parties are too divided. Of course, the whole uniparty thing that happened was after the independent centrist was here, so he definitely had an influence on the discourse, I guess. Feels like two parties, the two-party system is not working, but for some reason he thinks a single central party be the best solution to that. And he's out there climbing one of those meritocracy ladders. Gets over, finally gets in the ring, and there's a pin in the ring, and RFK Jr. pinned by the university president. So RFK Jr. is gone. And coming out to join is the Free Thinker. The Free Thinker. Man, this guy's a tough one. And 3%er got tossed, so he's been out there a while, but he's gone now. Here comes the Free Thinker, and he picked up that broom that the independent centrist brought out, and he's up on the top rope. Did he get in, Bob? My producer, Bob Dobolina? No, he had not entered the ring, so the Free Thinker is not eliminated yet, even though John Fetterman knocked him off that top rope. Not the smartest move by the Free Thinker. And Fetterman drops the immigrant. Fetterman's a big dude, man. Claims he no longer has the woke mom virus, too. And we got a buzzer. And coming out to join is homeless guy. So this guy I mentioned before, his name is Gary. He's a nice guy. Me and Catbird, I helped Catbird put a pop-up camper behind the arena here where Gary lives in it. And he puts one of those ladders in there. Way to go, Gary. So he's got one of those ladders in there. And there's a pin. Who was that? Reply guy got pinned in there. So reply guy is gone. So one thing I don't think most of you know, the homeless guy is in the discourse now. We're all one major, sometimes minor life event away from homelessness in America, especially with rising cost of housing, because wealth is tied to housing instead of comfort and being able to survive, and it's kind of ugly. Many of us will be homeless at some point. And here he comes. Old Uncle Joe, President Biden. Got his shoes off, ready to get down to business. He is in there and ready to rock. And there's a pin on the far side. Free Thinker pins Steve Bannon, so the Free Thinker takes out Steve Bannon. So we've got 8 people in here and 2 to go. Biden with a big elbow on independent centrist. We've got President Biden. Well, there's a pin. Let me get these pins out the way here. No pins yet. Senator John Fetterman, President Biden, New York DA Alvin Bragg still out there, a homeless guy out there, the Free Thinker, the independent centrist, the immigrant, and that university president is still out here. And here comes Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. I can't believe the university president is still out there. He would try to get himself out of the discourse mostly, you would think. He's mostly working about donor money, but of course, it's those same donors who contribute to universities. And John Fetterman tossed over the top rope on the other side of the ring. He is gone. But it's those university donors that are the same ones who are political donors, so there is some crossover. I gotta admit, I'm pulling for Gary, the homeless guy. He's a good guy. You know, down on his luck. A little rough around the edges, but he's a decent dude, man. Better than a lot of these politicians. And speaking of politicians, here comes Donald Trump. The big con man, carnival barker himself, Donald Trump. There's a pin on the far side. The immigrant almost got a pin on that university president. Trump going after that independent centrist right away. You think him and Alvin Bragg will probably lock up? You also think Trump and President Biden will lock up? You got Clarence Thomas out there. You think him and Biden might go at it? Of course, Alvin Bragg and Clarence Trump over the top. No, the free thinker. I'm sorry, it was the free thinker over the top rope by Alvin Bragg. So he is gone. And we get our final buzzer, and our final competitor is Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, and the independent centrist got pinned in there by the university president. So we've got 8 folks in here. So 8 folks, our final 8, trying to make it to be the champion of our winter 2024, I'm sorry, our spring 2024 Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse series. We've got Clarence Thomas, Alvin Bragg, the immigrant, the university president, homeless guy, President Trump, and President Biden. Our last 2 presidents are out there, and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. So that's our final 8. Let's see how this plays out. Bodies everywhere. Police state and the lady cop trying to maintain control of everything here. Biden dropped right on his face. And there's a pin. And that's probably it for Biden. It is. He's out. So President Biden will not be winning our spring 2024 Rumble of the Discourse. He'll have to wait for the debate season and pick things up for himself. He is out. 2 count on Alvin Bragg there. So Trump, opportunity for Trump. Take the advantage now. Lady cop moving that ladder around. That thing can become a weapon. Of course, the homeless guy put it in there. He wanted that thing to be in there. He doesn't want these politicians to escape the pain. Trump swinging a briefcase full of money. Nailing the immigrant. The immigrant dropped into that ladder. Clarence Thomas. Trump and Thomas briefly going at it. Homeless guy on him. Mike Johnson in there. Mike Johnson and Trump going at it. I think they would work together, but I guess they can't set those egos aside. Yeah, Alvin Bragg briefly fighting with the lady cop there. That's not going to do him any good. Trump getting some shots on Bragg now. Mike Johnson on that top rope over on the far side. Trump drops Bragg and goes for a pin, but does not get the 3 count. Trump and the immigrant going at it. So we're still holding tight at 7 folks left. Homeless guy with 1 count. And then he gets on top of, is that Mike Johnson, I think? Yeah, 1 count of Johnson. Clarence Thomas and Mike Johnson and Trump still locked up over there. Alvin Bragg and the university president going at it. Homeless guy just nailed Alvin Bragg with that stick, and then nailed Thomas. Thomas over the top rope, as is Mike Johnson. And now homeless guy's out there, all 3 of them out there, but neither one of them eliminated, and everybody's still hanging on that apron. What a dangerous spot to be. And then homeless guy punches Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas is gone. So Clarence Thomas will not win the discourse. We are down to 6 now. Gotta say, Alvin Bragg, a little bit of a shocker to be here. The university president, a big shocker. I did not expect him to still be in this thing. He was out very early, and he is still out here. I don't know why he even wants to win the discourse. His university president is, again, I can only think it's because a lot of the political donors are the same as academic donors. It's the same big money hedge fund bastards. Johnson and Trump teamed up on Bragg, and the immigrants got a pin on Trump, and there's no referee there. He had him for 4 or 5 seconds, and then he gets 2, and Trump kicks out. Man, that should have been a pin. The immigrants should have took out Trump, but the police was, lady cop was late to get there for the count. The police state didn't even bother coming over for the count. Man, that could have been Trump's elimination, but he's still out there, and he's giving it to the immigrant now. Homeless guy beating on Mike Johnson. Alvin Bragg and University President trying to catch their breath. Immigrant and Donald Trump staying at it. There's a pin on the homeless guy. Only a 1 count. He kicks out. Come on, Gary. Johnson's in the corner. Immigrant's got that cane. And there's a pin on Gary. Mike Johnson pins the homeless guy. Pins Gary, so Gary is out. Mike Johnson gets him, so we're down to 5. I guess I'm going to be pulling for the Immigrant now. So our final 5, well, let's see. Alvin Bragg drops that University President over the top. Now they're both out there on that apron. Neither one of them knock each other off. And 2 count on Mike Johnson by the Immigrant. So we've got DA Alvin Bragg, President Donald Trump, the University President, the Immigrant, and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Our final 5. What a motley crew this is. But to his credit, the discourse finale here is only 60% white men. Still 100% men, but 60% white dudes who tend to dominate the discourse. And I don't think we've had anybody who wasn't a white guy win the discourse, although not an FBI agent was under a mask, so it's hard to verify that. You say white appearing for that type of person, but really all you see is his eyes and his hands, so who knows. Trump beating on that University President. The Immigrant takes a kick. Alvin Bragg and Mike Johnson going at it. Lady Cop just moving that ladder around for no reason. There's a roll up on the Immigrant. Just a 1 count. Double suplexes, and there's a pin on Mike Johnson by Trump, but only a 2 count. And again, Trump and Johnson, you think they would be working together, but they are not there. Neither man can capitulate to the other. Of course, Mike Johnson did some of that uniparty stuff earlier this year that got some of the far MAGA crowd upset, but he somehow survived it, fought off MTG's house attack that she was going to do. They were going to make a joke of it, but Mike Johnson's got to realize if Trump gets elected, that anybody is on a hot seat with Trump. That guy goes through people, man. And that University President is still out there, and Alvin Bragg is still out there. I mean, this might be Alvin Bragg's one contribution to the discourse, getting those felony counts on Trump. Like, that's a career highlight, regardless if it gets turned over on appeal or what happens. That's Alvin Bragg's entrance into the discourse. So this will be, oh man, and him and the University President into that ladder. But that's it for him. So Alvin Bragg is eliminated, and the University President has made the final 4. The Immigrant's got a arm lock on Mike Johnson. Trump is kicking at that University President. We are now down to our final 4. Down to our final 4. Mike Johnson trying to set up that meritocracy ladder, but the University President flings the Immigrant over. And again, Johnson and Trump going at it. Makes no sense. Immigrant looking kind of groggy out there. Police state puts that ladder up. And you'll find a lot of times that meritocracy ladder, folks will run into it, and that'll be what kills them. That'll be what eliminates them from the discourse, is the meritocracy ladder, which of course is not real, but it's used as a weapon. It's been weaponized. Man, people love to say that, don't they? They've weaponized it. University President locking up with Trump. Into the ladder. Immigrant with a flip. Didn't really nail him. Mike Johnson back on the Immigrant. Oh man, there's a pile driver on the Immigrant. Mike Johnson probably could have pinned him there, but he didn't go for it. He's there again. Go for it. Trump locked up with the University President. That was a good chance to pin the Immigrant, I think, and Mike Johnson blew it. Mike Johnson not showing the best tactics here. Not the most tactical competitor. So again, folks, the heat dome has arrived. It's pretty hot. Take a little a sip of my water here, so anything happens in the next sip. Well, University President over the top rope. Mike Johnson him back in, and on that ladder. That could be it too, but no. All right, water break for your boy Dirk God. We're coming up on the 38-minute mark, so this one is a bit longer than normal. Usually these things wrap up before this time, but this is our finale. This will crown the champion of the discourse for spring 2024, so they're going extra hard. And Trump slamming that university president. I'm still shocked that he's in there still. And Trump out on the apron. Why would he do that? Immigrant flips that university president. This could, no, just a 1 count. Again, it's hot for us. I'm sure these guys are boiling in there, competing in the rumble of the discourse. It's got to be taking its toll. Immigrants got Mike Johnson by the ankles into the corner, and then he takes double team. Mike Johnson just leaned over in the corner, catching his breath, I guess. Not a bad move by the Speaker of the House. Picking his moves, and he's up on that top rope. And then he nails the police state. I'm not sure how that helps his cause at all. The immigrant pushes him into the ropes, hits him with a punch. Suplex on Trump by the university president. The immigrant's got that arm bar on Mike Johnson again. Will they give it up? No, he kicks out, and the tides turn quickly. University president over the top rope. Trump on that top of the ladder, and he falls, and he's on the top of that ladder. University president tries to come up there, and now he's up there, him and Trump, at the top of the ladder. And there's a pin, just a 1. What is going on? Oh, and they both get knocked down off of that ladder. And there's a pin. That's got to be it for the university president. Still kicks out. Still kicks out. So Trump and that university president having a fight on top of the meritocracy ladder. Took a horrible fall, and neither one of them pinned. Missed opportunity for the immigrant and Mike Johnson there, in my opinion. And there's a pin on the immigrant. 2 count. Man, we are over 40 minutes. It is fucking hot in this arena. Oh, I'm telling you, man. I hope somebody wraps this thing up, because I'm going to be heading out the door right away. Backhand on the immigrant by Trump. Johnson in the corner again. University president over there with a chop that barely connects. Trump giving some middle fingers there to the immigrant. Catches a punch from the university president. Arm lock again. The immigrant is good at these arm locks, but he can't get a submission from anybody. Immigrant looking pretty worse for wear here. Trump slams Johnson and then flexes and then nails the university president. Devastating forearm smash. And throws him on the other side. Trump's on that top rope waiting. He's all the way up. They're too far though. He gets back down. So these guys are all still beating on each other, trying to be the champion of the discourse. This is a long one. We had some technical difficulties earlier this week, but we are out here tonight because it's always Monday somewhere. And there's a pin, another 2 count kick out. Mike Johnson kicks out. I'm shocked that the university president is still out here. Like, what is even the point? The immigrant didn't even get a 1 count on Trump. Trump, insulted by the pin attempt, just kicks out right away. Trump slams that immigrant University president jumps on him for the pin after that slam by Trump, and that's it. The immigrant is gone, so we're down to 3. Sort of a tag team effort there. Trump did the move, and University president got the pin. So we're down to 3. Johnson and Trump should team up to get rid of the University president, but they're going at each other again. I guess this is harbinger of things to come. Right now, they've had this time of this brief uniparty action that Mike Johnson was able to do, but once these debates kick in and the presidential season kicks on, and there's a pin on Mike Johnson, just a 1 count. Trump is going to burn that bridge and expect total subservience from Mike Johnson. You got to defer to Trump if you're going to be on Trump's good side. He goes after that University president. He's got Mike Johnson, punched to Mike Johnson, about to Trump on the top rope with an elbow to the knee of Mike Johnson. Now he's got that University president headlock, punched him on the forehead. Back on to Mike Johnson. Into the ropes. University president misses him. They're both coming at him. University president with the forearm on Mike Johnson. Man, we are over 45 minutes, folks. This is one of our longest Rumbles of the Discourse ever. If you made it this far, I'm shocked. I've barely made it this far. It's hot as hell in here, man. I'm ready to, like, wrap this bad boy up, go home, sip on a seltzer water in the front yard, and watch the lightning bugs. But here I am talking about the discourse in an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining empire that is America. Boy, oh boy. Trump, right in your camera. Mike Johnson slamming University president, jumping around. Trump going for the pin. That's a 2. Oh no, a kick out. 2 3/4. Mike Johnson kicks out. Trump into that ladder. And there's a pin on Johnson. That's got to be a 2. 2.5. Johnson kicks out again. University president slammed down Johnson into the ladder. This has got to be Trump's to win. I got to admit, Trump. And there goes the pin on the University president. That's 2. No, just a 2. I feel like if we're talking about the discourse, Trump is the one that's going to win this thing. There's just no way he couldn't, you know? It's all you hear. Especially with the election coming up. Republican, him and Johnson team up on University president. That's got to be it for that. That's 2, and that's 3. No, another kick out. University president kicks out again. But with the Republican convention coming up, vice president will be announced at some point, probably at the convention. Trump, he's the man that gets in the news. And Johnson with an abdominal stretch on Trump. I'm tired watching. I'm sure these 3 guys are tired of fighting. The University president, as a reminder, has been out there, and he goes for a pin on Johnson. 2 count. That University president had been out there for a long time, man. He came out very early on. I think he was like 5th or 6th person to come out. So he's had a long night here tonight. That timer that you see down below, he's been here for the majority of it. Of course, all of them. Mike Johnson was the last man out at the 25-minute mark was when he came out, so he's been out here for a good almost 25 minutes himself as we hit the 50-minute mark. I think this is the first time we've hit the 50-minute mark on the Rumble. And the University president getting some shots on Johnson. Trump nailing him. They team him up and drop him. Elbow drop, double elbow drops. And University president's up, man. He's tough. For whatever reason, he's trying to, a little leg sweep there. For whatever reason, he's trying to hold on to things here. Trump giving middle fingers to him and a punch to the gut, punch to the head. Police state getting involved there briefly. Trump going to that top rope, and then Mike Johnson knocks him off of the ladder. Why was Trump going up the meritocracy ladder, and Johnson knocks him off? He's gone, so we are down to our final two. I thought for sure Donald Trump would win this thing, man. I really did, but he climbed that meritocracy ladder, and Mike Johnson smacked him and knocked him off out of the ring. Trump is eliminated, so we got Mike Johnson and the university president. That'll be a shocker if he wins the discourse. Be an absolute upset. A little bit of an upset for Mike Johnson to win it, but he is the Speaker of the House. He did get some of this combined party stuff to happen, even though the two groups are very divided, but it sort of pushed him. And he's over the top rope. University president is going to win it right here. They're both on that apron. That could be it, but Mike Johnson, they both get back in. But a little bit of combined party centrism that happened, of course, answering what that independent centrist was talking about, and it made the progressives look more fringe. It made the MTGs look more fringe. Of course, I hate to compare those two. It's hard to say wanting a Christian and off the top rope, university president nails Johnson, but also nails that lady cop. Hard to compare wanting health care for all and houses for all to some of the Christian nationalist ideas you hear from types of MTG. Well, Mike Johnson, the university president, is still going at it. He misses, hits that ladder, and that's got to be it. There's a 1, there's a 2, and he still kicks out and raises his arms, and he's going for the pin. 2, and that's no kick out by Johnson. Kick out, 2 counts left and right. What is even going on here? Into that ladder, going for the pin. This has got to be it this time. And there it is, 3. The university president is eliminated. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson wins this thing tonight. My goodness, what a long, lengthy battle. Good grief, I can't even believe how long that took. So let's look at this. They're locked up, and then Mike Johnson had just didn't get the pin, and then throws him into that ladder, and that meritocracy ladder was the final blow against the university president. Mike Johnson gets the 1, 2, 3. So let's look at our updated previous winners, and there you have it. Mike Johnson joins that illustrious list of the verified blue check, the police state, and not an FBI agent. So, there you have it. That's the end of this season. Once again, folks, this is supported by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. That goes on year-round, man. I got stuff going out constantly on my Patreon, so not just the 7-week series. There's a lot of other stuff I do on there, but basically, you just support the entity that is Dirt God Raven Mac. Give me some love, man. You know, I know at the same time, I know it's hard because we're all struggling to survive the declining empire, baby. I know how it is. Anyways, that's how this is. This is done. We can take a break from it. Like I said, I think we're scheduled. Bob, what'd you tell me? Producer Bob, I believe it. Looks like that first Monday in August, and I'm not sure what day that is, but if you look at a calendar, the first Monday in August, that should be when we come back with our summer 2024 series. The debates will have happened. It's going to be a lot going on between then. We'll be hitting the crunch time in the election campaign. So, unfortunately, the discourse doesn't stop. Even if we break it down in seasons, it does not stop. But until then, until next time, it's your boy Dirt God saying salam.